Alors, ben, Kevin, first, ben, you're also the hero of the day as well, because it's thanks to you that you were Benjamin's student. So Benjamin was a good student.
I don't remember. When did we have classes?
You're teasing. He got 710. He was your student last year. Yeah, you're teasing him. Yeah, you're teasing him.
Benji.
Yeah,
Yes,
Benji.
Of course,
exactly.
Benji. Yes.
Benji. Yeah, Benji.
Yes, exactly.
You changed your hairdo a bit, Benjamin. Yeah, your hairdo was a bit.
I don't know why, but I know him as Benji.
Yeah,
Benji.
it's true.
Yeah, Benji. I
Hi,
remember,
Benji.
but Benjamin Mazin. Was he a good student?
A very good student.
Yeah.
Very methodical.
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
He got 710. Huh? So when
Yes.
Benjamin told me he got 710, I told him, you don't want to try in SEAD, by the way. And he said, no, I want to go to IESE. So Benjamin, first thing, after close to 1 year at IESE, what is it to study at IESE? Tell me.
Well, it's just the first year is everybody studies the same thing. It's basically the core curriculum of the MBA, and then in the second year of the program, you choose your own classes. So you can specialize in a specific area, or you can just pick classes because of your interests. But basically, up until now, I've just been doing the core MBA curriculum of IESE.
Yeah. So in terms of teaching, but in terms of personal experience, further than just teaching.
Sorry,
in terms of personal experience, beyond academics, but in terms of personal experience, what is it to study at IESE?
My personal, sorry, I didn't quite.
In terms of personal experience, what did you experience at IESE? In terms of friends, professors, workload?
It's quite, so academically it's quite intense, especially at the beginning. There's 3 terms in the first year. The first term is super intense, and then it kind of improves, or the academic intensity goes down as the year goes. But the first few months are quite tough. There's obviously a lot of social activity because it's people from all over the world coming to Barcelona. Like I don't know how many countries, but 40, 50 countries are represented in IESE. So, you have all these people from all over the world. They come to Barcelona for 2 years. Everyone's looking to meet each other, to make friends, to make relationships. So the social activity is really high. There's always events, dinners, trips, etc., etc.
Okay, that's been great. So, who is your favorite teacher? Someone who impressed you a lot from whom you learn so much?
Yeah, no, I've had several. I've had some pretty good teachers this year. They're not all. I wouldn't say they're all great, but in general, the standard is pretty good. For example, I had a professor of managerial accounting last term who was an American, who was very good. In the first term, I had a professor of a subject that was called decision analysis, who was Spanish, who is very good. Yeah, I've had quite a few good professors.
Okay, so it's a very good thing to do. And what is life like? Do you live close to the campus?
I live quite close for kind of because IESE is a bit. I mean, it's in the city of Barcelona, but it's in this neighborhood which is not in the center of the city. And actually, it's in a very nice neighborhood. It's like in the most expensive neighborhood in Barcelona, which has the best houses, really big houses, and IESE is there. So nobody lives there from the MBA because everyone wants to be closer to the city, and also because it's big houses there. So a lot of people that want to live really in the center of the city, they take around 30 minutes to get to the school. I live in a neighborhood which is kind of in between the center and the IESE, so I take like 20 minutes, which is good.
Which is good. But you walk, or you have a motorbike?
I take a bus because there's a very good connection from my house. But a lot of people that don't have such a good connection get a moped, and they go around Barcelona on moped, which is very typical.
Yeah, because especially when this country, the weather is pretty good.
Yeah, as well, the weather is very good. Yeah.
In which field would you specialize next year? You have already decided where you want to specialize?
I'm gonna specialize. I'm gonna do concentration. They call it concentrations in finance, because not really that. It's not because I want to have a purely financial career, but it's more because I didn't have the kind of financial acumen before the MBA, and I want to make sure to leave the MBA with a really good, kind of solid knowledge of finance that I think will help me in the rest of my career, even if I don't want to, have a CFO role in the future or anything like this.
Okay. Yes, I know it's something that we discuss. And so we talked together about the internship. What do you want to say? Are you in the process of finding something? Or
yeah. So part of the what you have to do at IESE is in the summer term. Not in the summer term. In the summer vacation months, you have to do some kind of internship. It doesn't have to be actually in the summer, but 90% of people do it then. And I'm actually still looking for it. I'm speaking to various companies, all in the energy sector. I had, for example, a call with a renewable energy company on Friday, 2 days ago, and hopefully something works out in the next few weeks.
Okay, so for you, because you really deserve. Alors, basically, I want to start immediately from IESE. Me, I know you well because I was work with you. Amy, can you introduce yourself maybe in 2-3 minutes, Benjamin?
Sure. Well, I'm from Madrid. I grew up in Madrid, but I went to college in the US. I went to the University of Michigan. I studied a degree there that was called public policy, which was mostly political science classes with also some economics classes. And then after graduating in 2019, I came back to Spain. I worked as a consultant in regulatory matters. So I helped companies and economic business associations with all kinds of matters related to regulation and public policy. And yeah, 1 year ago, more or less, now a bit more, I decided to kind of do a career transition, and I wanted to do a kind of leave this regulatory space and go into a more pure business role. So I decided to do the MBA. I wanted to stay in Spain because I had already also gone abroad to study before, and IESE is a very good school within Spain, so it was going to be easier for me in a way. And yeah, so now I'm doing the MBA.
Okay. So basically, Benjamin is very humble, but at the same time, you have several citizenship, Benjamin, because you're British and you're Spanish. Are you Spanish, by the way? I know that you're British.
Yeah, I'm Spanish, and I have British citizenship, but
Can be used.
I only got my passport actually like a few weeks ago. I never did it.
Yeah, but because I told you, it's always a big plus because believe me, I have to go to work in London next year, and it's very, very difficult. I remember when it was so easy.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, there was no reason to do it because
Yeah. It was
we're
part
in
of
the
the
EU,
European
so
Union.
I never did it. And now that I'm doing the MBA and I'm looking at kind of post MBA roles to have the opportunity, the possibility, in case maybe something appears to go to the UK, it's always good. Yeah. So I did it.
What is also very important with Benjamin, so he studied politics and he was involved in political activity. So in addition of his studies, so he has his background is very different from the background that the others have, because most of when I meet Kevin students, their background is mainly they went to business school, so it's either IE, ESAD, ICAD, and when they go to engineering school, it is the University of Navarra,
I have a pretty unusual background within my class. Most people, there's few people with kind of my academic and professional background. Most people were either in consulting,
finance,
etc., etc.
Okay. Alors, basically, I'm sure that you have questions. So, Andres, for instance, you have a question. Basically, what I want to say is that Benjamin could have easily studied at INSEAD or LBS. He made the choice of studying at IESE. It's his choice. Okay, yeah. So personal reasons. It was easier. Plus, at the same time, maybe you wanted to have a UK a Spanish degree, because it may be important. And he decided to go to IESE. So I'm sure that you have questions. No matter where you want to study, whether you want to stay at IESE or INSEAD or Columbia, Andres, you have a question to ask to Benjamin?
Yeah. What do you say is the most important thing besides the GMAT when you do an application?
So who is talking? Is it Andres? Who is talking? Andres, because I see Andres. So after the GMAT, what is most important according to you, Benjamin?
I mean, this question would probably be better for Robert, because I just did one time the application, right? So and it worked. It worked for me. And
can you see? Do you hear me? Yeah.
But my impression is that if you're able to kind of differentiate yourself and your profile in any way, I think that's very good, because then for example, IESE has, I don't know, 350 people per year, more or less, and a lot of them have the same background or similar background. So if you're able to show some things that are going to be different, not in terms of the GMAT, but in terms of your experience, that's going to be good. So, for example, I have a classmate who is an architect. I think he had, in that sense, an advantage. Maybe I did as well, because I had a different profile. I have another classmate that used to sail. She used to be the captain of cruise ships in the Caribbean. I don't know. So people like this, you can't fill the whole MBA with people like this, but they like to have some different profiles. Obviously, not you can't make it up, but if you're able to show some differentiation, I think that's going to be an advantage.
Now, basically, to answer your question, Andres, I would say that the most important thing is to, after the GMAT, is to show that you have the right fit. Is to show that you can work, collaborate, and contribute to the program. Okay. So, for instance, they saw that Benjamin is different, but his GMAT was very good. His English is excellent. He is a team player, so they knew that anyway he will fit well at IESE, and plus he brings some element of diversity. Okay. Then I see Albert. Albert, you have a question, Albert, to ask? Albert, you have a question for us?
Well, okay. I was thinking that, so right now I have no questions at this point. But yeah.
Now, Albert, where are you from? Are you from Barcelona?
Yeah.
So would you consider going to IESE?
No, I mean, if I'm honest, I'd like to go to the US. So yeah, that's why I didn't ask for any questions regarding IESE. I mean, it's a great school, but I'm from Barcelona, so I'd like to move a bit from there.
Yeah. So basically, so we'll see anyway. I will be here early June, so we can meet. But you can also meet me if you need. So basically, the admission process. What is the admission process like, Benjamin? Because you see, Albert, whether you apply to Harvard or to IESE or to HEC, it's the same admission process. So what is the admission process like? Can you tell us what you have experienced?
Well, I did it very quickly, and I only applied to IESE because I actually decided to do the MBA very late, I think in March, and the deadline was May 1st, if I remember correctly. So I only really had time to do one application, and I also had to do the GMAT in that time. So it was like a pretty intense month. I think it went very smoothly actually for me. The GMAT went well. I got some. I had to submit some recommendation letters. It was one obligatory and 3 optional. I got 3. I think I got 3 very strong recommendation letters, and apart from that, I had to write some essays, 2 or 3 essays, and I had an interview. But it was very smooth. It went very well in my case.
So what you have to see that you apply to only one school, and it's true that in IESE the application is quite easy to draft. Okay. What you forgot to say, maybe Benjamin, is that you have an interview, and there's also like an interview day at IESE in Barcelona. Did you go to the interview day where you have to make like a business case? Did you do the business case in Barcelona, or it was online?
Well, I didn't go to the interview day, or it's not called interview, it's called something else. I can't remember now.
Assessment day. It's an assessment day.
Assessment day. I didn't have to do it. Normally, if you apply in the final round, I think it's less likely that you have to do it. What I did go to is an open day. So I went to IESE, I went to visit the school, but it wasn't an assessment day. But it was good that I went because they suggested I should go. They didn't say I have to, but they suggested, and it was a way of showing interest and showing you were actually committed. So
it's very important. You see, for instance, if you're based in Madrid or in Barcelona and you don't even go for an open day, it's a very, very strange. It shows that there's not much interest in the school. Me, I have one of my colleagues who has been accepted to IESE. He came from India. He was working for MBA Center Delhi, and he came from India.
Yeah, in my open day there, I remember there were people from all over the world, which I was very impressed because
they came from
an assessment day, and I had sitting next to me a Brazilian girl who had come from Brazil, and she's in my class now, so it worked out for her.
Yeah. Rodrigo, you have a question for us. Rodrigo Garcia Flores. What questions have you got for us, Rodrigo?
Hi, Howard. Hi, Benjamin. Yeah. Yes, well, I'm also considering IESE. Also, beside IESE, I'm also considering SEAT and HEC in Paris, HEC. And I'm preparing the GMAT to take it on May 31, and probably I will go to final round IESE, and in SEAT, I think the intake is in June, and for the January intake, and also for HEC. So the thing is, like, why, like, you talk about the summer, the internships and the work possibilities after the MBA. So what is your feelings about this? What do you think, like the true possibilities? For example, I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I have a lawyer background. So, for example, the movement in my case, if I want to go to, for example, finance or having an internship abroad, do you think like there are good chances if I go to IESE, like having a very good internship in not only in Spain but also, for example, a good bank in London or private equity? I don't know, like having these chances, it's something that it's a reality, or it is really hard, like, to find a very good internship, or I don't know, like, what are your feelings on this? And also after the MBA, I don't know, but
Sure.
It's a very good event.
I think this year it's being difficult. It's not been a good year in general, at least in IESE for in terms of the labor market. I think there's kind of bigger macro reasons for it. I think that there's, for example, and I think that's happening across European business schools, because I've seen some statistics, for example, from LBS and from IESE, and the rate of obtaining internships this year has been somewhat definitely slower and maybe even significantly slower, both in LBS and ESE. We got the ESE statistics from the school, and I saw the LBS ones because of a person I know there that's also got the statistics, and I saw them. So I think it's been a difficult year. But one thing about the internship, which I think is good, and it's a benefit of a 2-year program, at least in theory, is that if you want to make a big career shift, like for example from law into finance or something like this, or I'm also trying to do a pretty significant shift to go straight into a full-time, to be hired full-time by a company in financial services when you don't have any experience in it. I think it's quite difficult. While if you do an internship for 3 months and you already get some experience, it's still difficult, because the internship space is very competitive. But especially kind of in an investment bank in London or something like this, they have programs for MBA internships that they take X amount every year, and it's very competitive. But I think at least it opens, the good thing about the internship is that it opens some space for somebody without experience in, for example, an investment bank to go into it. And I've seen people do it this year. I've seen people that get to the MBA that do not have experience in finance, for example, that from the beginning, and you have to do it super intensely from the beginning, start working very hard, preparing those investment banking interviews, and that process. And they have, I know people that this summer will be working in London in investment banking without the background, but it's pretty hard, and you have to work really hard from the beginning of the MBA with that objective, because they actually come quite early, those processes. So I think after 2 months, more or less in December, January, the MBA starts in September, and in December, January, those processes are already that's when they start. So in 2 or 3 months, you have to learn a lot if you don't have the experience and the previous knowledge, and you have to do it outside of the classroom, because so they will help you with it. Like there's clubs, there's special sessions, for example, there's a finance club that prepares you for this, but it's not what you cover in the classroom in the first term is not enough to go to those interviews.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So basically, what I want to say, you see, Rodrigo, is that all the schools you're applying to, INSEAD, LBS, HEC, IESE, they all have a summer internship. Because if you do, for instance, if you start with INSEAD in January 25, you'll have a summer internship because you have no class in July, August. Okay. So I suggest that you do that. But it's true, Benjamin is right. There's a financial crisis arriving pretty soon. If you follow what is going on in America, I'm sure that you have noticed, especially if you have a look at the car market. So of course it's pretty difficult. And I've seen that big recruiters like Amazon last year. So the companies that still recruit are consulting companies, contrary to what we believe. But in the rest, it's more difficult. So all that to tell you that don't rely on the school only to find you a job, to find you an internship.
Okay.
Also develop your network and start to develop as soon as you have been accepted. Too many people rely on the school saying, "Oh, I will be an INSEAD graduate.
Yes.
It will help me." No, you have to find an internship. Okay, and you have to do it on your own. Okay.
Okay.
Last one, Beatrice. Sorry, Beatrice, you're the woman, the only woman.
Yes,
there. I'm asking you last. So, what is the question that you have for us, Beatrice?
I'm not thinking yet about MBA, but I am applying for a master's in finance.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you have to do a personal statement, but what are they asking exactly in the personal statements? Like, what do they want to hear?
Basically, it depends for the MIF. So we are sent students because basically it's true that in Spain, I don't have many students applying for MIF, but as you can hear from my accent, I'm French. And in France, we have many students applying for HEC, ESSEC, ESCP. By the way, from this fall, I will be a professor at ESCP. So if you want to go for the master in finance at ESCP, It's a good school. We are ranked #1 in the FT, and you don't need the GMAT. So basically, it's the exact same process as for an MBA, as for an MIM, as for an executive MBA, GMAT, TOEFL, essays, letters of reference. Is the same process. Okay. And by the way, the application to HEC and ESSEC and even are very cumbersome. There's a lot to write. You have about 10 essays to write for ESSEC. Okay. So basically, where do I send people? In the US, I send many people to Yale. Yale School of they have an asset in they have master in finance, MIT. Okay. In the UK, LSE Imperial and LBS and Oxford as well. And in France as well, EDEC, HEC, ESSEC, ESCP, a bit to Bocconi, and a bit to IE. But the problem is that it's good to be in a country where you have recruiters. And it's true that in France and in the UK, you have recruiters. It's an issue. You're close to the recruiters. Okay. I have some students at IE who tell me that it's a bit a nightmare to do a master in finance at IE because they don't have a recruitment team. They don't have full-time people in charge of recruiting people, what we call campus ambassadors. Anything else you want to ask? Because it's my birthday today. My family is here.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Yeah. I invited you, Kevin. Okay, but you were. My family is coming because they don't understand what I'm doing here. So I have to go now. Thank you very much, Benjamin. It was your birthday last week, Benjamin. So we are both Taurus.
Yeah.
And and then I have to go. Thank you very much. I will be in Spain early June because by the way, we'll invite you for a seminar that we organize with Harvard, Wharton, Stanford in Amsterdam. If you want to come, Amsterdam is not that far. And then we will move from there, and I will send you a follow-up email. Thank you very much, Kevin. As usual.
All right.
Thank you.
And say
I want the same shirt for my birthday. Don't forget, I want this shirt that you have because it's a really cool one. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much, Benjamin. I will see you.
enjoy your birthday and say hello to your
Yeah.
parents for me.
Okay, yeah, of course. Have a good day, Beatrice. Have a good day, Rodrigo. Have a good day, Andres. And have a good day, Benjamin. Thank you.
And
Bye-bye.
Hubert, thanks for making time on your birthday. And you, Benji, for taking time out of your Sunday.
No, that's okay. If any of you want to talk anything else, you can add me on LinkedIn, for example, and I'm happy to chat about whatever.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
Kevin.
then.
Good to see you.
Okay, take care. Good to see
Bye.
you in person, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.